Where can I begin? I am on my way to court because my wife's affair partner is suing me after I caught him in my own house. I am 29 years old and my wife is 27. It all started when I received a call from an unknown number by a stranger that revealed to me that my wife is having an affair. The stranger claimed that a guy that he works with was bragging about all the women he slept with and that he's currently sleeping with a married woman. He was showing pictures of the woman on Facebook to him and some other co-workers. He memorized her name and looked her up on Facebook. He confirmed that she was my wife and decided to reach out to me. My work phone number is on my Facebook account, so he gave me a call. I was driving from Houston to Baton Rouge that day to service a customer's equipment. As I was listening to my music, a call came through, the unknown number. I didn't recognize the number, but I was in sales, so I pick up every call. I figured it was another one of my clients, so I picked up the phone, and here is how the conversation went. Me: hello, I am Mr. James from XXX Company. Stranger: is this Mr. James? Me: yes, this is Mr. James. How can I help you? Stranger: is your wife's name Kate? Fake name. Me: who is this? Stranger: listen to me. I have something important to tell you that affects your wife. Either you confirm that she's your wife or I will hang up. Me: okay. Kate is my wife. Stranger: I have something to tell you about your wife. Believe it or not, your wife is having an affair with my coworker, and he was bragging about it during lunch. Why showing people pictures of your wife? Me: I was quiet and in shock. Stranger: hello, are you there? Me: yes, I'm still listening. Go on. Stranger: there's this guy I work with, and I can't stand him. He was going on bragging during lunch about how he slept with your wife. I am a married man too, and I felt disgusted about that. The details are so disturbing to me and very graphic. The stranger then went on to tell me this one time my wife's affair partner was having excess with her and asked her to call me while he was inside her. She called me on the phone while they continued to have sex, and they laughed at me behind my back. The stranger then said, I have been cheated on before, and I don't think any person should go through that. I found a spot at the side of the road and parked. I didn't know if it was a prank call or if it was genuine. The guy sounded hurt and disturbed, so I guess I should believe him. The phone conversation continued. Me: how can I know that you're telling me the truth? Stranger: well, your wife goes to Planet Fitness in the early mornings and in the evening, doesn't she? Me: yes, she does. Stranger: your wife drives a blue station wagon, doesn't she? Me: yes, she does. What's your name so I can know who to thank for this helpful information? Stranger: you don't need to know my name. In fact, you should thank me by not mentioning how you find out, because I may get in trouble. I just felt like you should know. That's it. Before I could say another word, the man hanged up the phone. The number was unknown, so I couldn't give him a call back. I sat in my car and tried to take a deep breath and internalize what the stranger just told me. He said that my wife is having an affair with a coworker, and he mentioned my wife's gym hours. He also mentioned something unusual, that my wife calls me when she was having excess with her affair partner. My wife had a blood test 6 months ago, and it came out that she was prone to contracting diabetes, gout, and hypertension. It really scared her, and she started to live a very healthy lifestyle. Then she started going to the gym as well, and had been making a lot of progress. She has lost 57 pounds in 6 months, and now enjoys showing off her curves on social media. I am a traveling field technician, and my territory includes parts of the bottom half of the southern United States. So I was on the road 3 days a week. I started this job 3 years ago, and it has helped me and my wife get out of debt. We are happy that my parents gave us their home because they were moving to a senior community. Their home is paid for, so we were living rent-free and only paying for utilities. My work schedule hasn't been good for our relationship, and we have tried to sacrifice because of the financial benefits that my job provides. I was hoping to resign from the job in a year so I could stay around and have a family with my wife. We have been married for 6 years, no kids, and planning on having kids now that she has her weight under control. So back to when I received the stranger's call about my wife's affair. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to assume it was a prank call and get on with my day. But something he said struck me when he said my wife called me while she was bedding her affair partner. I have gotten some strange calls from my wife on multiple occasions. She would call me when she knew that I was driving, and then we'd start talking about something irrelevant. I was foolish enough to believe that she was just missing me. When I asked her why she is out of breath, she would tell me that she just got off the treadmill, which was strange looking back because those times she calls me weren't her workout times. She would never call me when I was driving. And now, out of the blue, she would call me to talk about nonsense. Being the caring husband that I am, I would answer, thinking that she wanted to hear my voice or that it was an emergency. And then she would start talking nonsense. After the stranger's call, I decided to continue driving to my client's location. I had a few hours to get there, so I had a lot of time to put my thoughts together. In light of the recent revelations, that is looking accurate. I was 95% sure that it was legit because he mentioned what I now know was a humiliating call from my wife, instructed by her affair partner. I didn't call my wife to confront her about the affair. After work for the day at the client facility was over, I rented a hotel like I always do since I couldn't drive back until the following day. During the evening, my wife called me asking if I was coming home or staying at the hotel that night. A day ago, I would have thought she was calling to check on me. Now I thought she was calling me to see if a affair partner could be spending the night at my house. I was angry and couldn't hide it. I yelled at her that I have already told her that I was spending the night at the hotel, even though I didn't. She was confused as why I was so angry at her, and she asked me if everything was okay. My wife is the type that is very sensitive and would cry over anything to get her way. So she started crying, saying that I was being mean to her for no reason. Normally, I would apologize, and that would be the end of it. But I immediately hanged up the phone. She called me back, but I didn't answer. I sent an email to my boss that evening that I will be taking 2 days off for a family emergency. I didn't expect him to respond till the following day. Before I went to bed that night, I checked my email, and someone with a fake account sent me a picture of a man through Facebook with his name typed below the picture, and a note saying that this man was the man my wife was having an affair with. He also wrote down the name of the guy, the affair partner. I looked up my wife's alleged affair partner on Facebook. I saw pictures he took while working out at the gym, the same gym my wife goes to. He also enjoyed posting pictures of his car. He had one of my favorite cars, my dream car actually, a 1967 Chevrolet Corvette. The car was a rebuild, and at this point, I would exchange the car for my cheating wife if he was willing to trade. I hated this guy. I was jealous of him. So this is the type of guy my wife wanted? He's much bigger and better looking than me. He drove my dream car. Now, maybe sleeping with my dream wife. You could tell by how much he brags about his car that he was a total meathead that spends his life savings on a car so he could get girls. Well, it is working for him. My boss couldn't give me the approval to take some days off the following day because he couldn't find someone to cover for me. I drove to another client's place the following day for work. My wife called me and I was much calmer. I told her that I was having a bad day, which was why I yelled at her. She expected me to apologize like before, but I never did. I was able to get some time off work. So I went home and told my wife that I would be traveling for work again. Long story short, I rented a car so my wife wouldn't identify my car, and I followed her to the gym in the morning. When she left home, I followed her without her knowing. Her workout partner was her affair partner, and I saw her through the glass window of the gym, working out with her affair partner. Then in the evening, since she thought I was in another city, she invited him to my house. The affair partner drove his 1967 Chevrolet Corvette and parked in my driveway like he owns the place. I was thinking about going inside and busting them together, but I had a better idea. That cocky SOB parked in my driveway like he owns the place. Then I made the decision to demolish his car. I turned around and went to the Walmart next to my house and bought a metal baseball bat and a kitchen knife. I came back hoping that he was still in my driveway. Sure enough, he was trying to spend the night. It was almost dawn when I started slashing his tires and damaging his wheels, then both headlights and brake lights. Then I broke his driver's and passenger side windows, both mirrors and windscreen. Then I damaged the driver's side door and the hood badly with my baseball bat. I was working on demolishing his trunk when he finally came out of my house, where he was probably banging my wife, to confront me. He must have heard the sound of his car while it was being demolished with my metal baseball bat. He tried to fight me, and I swung the baseball bat at him, and he ran back to my front porch and grabbed some rocks on the front porch and started hauling rocks at me. That was when I noticed that my wife was out of the house and screaming, while the neighbors gathered around to watch the demolition derby. One of the stones the affair partner was throwing hit me, and I ran for my life behind a car parked on the street. He tried to take off with his car, but he couldn't open the driver's side door because it was completely totaled. His once beautiful 1967 Chevrolet Corvette looked like a junkyard car we used for target practice. He finally entered through the roof and was trying to start the ignition and cranking up the engine when I came out of my hiding place, swinging my baseball bat to finish what I had started. I didn't swing at him. I don't want to murder anyone, not for her. I was trying to destroy his car instead of hurting him. There was chaos everywhere. My wife was crying. My neighbors were gathering, and I started to demolish his car again while he was in it. The next thing I knew, he was on top of me, beating me up. He was much bigger than me, so he took me down. Then all of a sudden, the police showed up and rescued me. He got detained and was placed at the back of a police car. The police pulled me and my wife aside as they tried to collect a statement. I told the police that he was an intruder and I was trying to protect my wife. I looked at my wife when I said that, and she was initially confused, but then she backed me up. Even the police were confused about the whole situation. They knew that there was more to the story, but they saw him when he was on top of me, assaulting me, punching me when they got there. So I was in front of my house, and he is the intruder and the aggressor. So you could see why he was arrested and charged. He was the only one that doesn't belong there. He was taken to the police station and was released after 4 days. Before then, the police had already towed and seized his once beautiful 1967 Chevrolet Corvette to the junkyard for some sort of evidence. When we returned inside the house, my wife had already lost her voice from yelling and crying earlier. She apologized to me in a raspy voice that she is sorry, and it was a mistake. I told her to save her voice because we're going to get a divorce. I called my parents and told them what happened and that we were getting divorced. But my parents tried to convince me to work things out because my mom is very close to my wife. I tried to explain to them what she had done, but it seemed like what they wanted us to do was to go to therapy. My mother used to say that my wife reminded her of my younger sister that passed away, and she took my wife as her own daughter. I don't want to get into details about how the affair damaged my relationship with my mother and father. My father had no backbone to be a man and stand up for me or his dignity, and he took my wife's side because of my mom. Till this day, I haven't spoken to my parents because they continued to take her side and wanted us to work things out. I moved out of my parents' house because my wife refused to move. Anyways, this week I received an email from the guy that exposed the affair to me, telling me that the affair partner got what he deserved, and because he was no call no show for 3 days while he was in prison, he was fired from his job. Apparently, pictures of his totaled car were all over Facebook, and our story was in the news. His co-workers were tagging him on Facebook with his damaged car to troll him. To add insult to injury, he served me yesterday and is suing me for $90,000 for property damage, an additional $50,000 for losing his job. I'll be hiring a lawyer tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure I can countersue him for something as well. Hopefully, if I get a chance, I will keep you updated. As you can imagine, my life is busy as hell, trying to balance an impending divorce living arrangement, foolish parents, and mischievous affair partner. Stay tuned. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up for YouTube to promote my video. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.